Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you like, Super Dave. We are here to talk about Jinx, Kim Jinx Arashikage, number 124 in the classified line. Another member of the Arashikage Ninja Clan. And we have some cool things to discuss with this video. And we're going to have a special opening along with this. I will go into that after we are done with Jinx. Jinx is always one of my cooler favorite character from 1987. She was very interesting in the movie, the G.I. Joe, the animated feature movie that ended up being a 5-parter instead of a movie in the theater. And that was a weird surprise. But she came off pretty cool and pretty strong in the movie, the animated feature film by Sunbow. The comics, she comes off a little bit different. She comes off more closer to the Arashikage Ninja Clan, and she's connected to all that storyline a lot more in the comics than she is in the Sunbow animated, whereas she's a recruit. She's a new recruit. They don't really play up her heritage in the Arashikage clan in the movie. So the characterizations are completely different for both variations of the character. We're going to go into a little bit of each of those as we go through this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's first start off with Dan Klingesmith's series of books. Creating G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero by Dan Klingesmith Jr. Volume number 2 is Jinx. So, like I said, she had an interesting history in the Sunbow. She had a relationship with Falcon, and she wasn't very. I don't think she was treated very well in there, and it wasn't a very good. In a certain sense, a certain way, it wasn't a very good feminine interpretation for that character, because she was being kind of like manipulated and kind of treated badly by Falcon, and she was kind of letting him in a certain way, maybe not the whole thing, but it was a little weird, a little cringy, that whole plot point with her and Falcon. I didn't care for it that much. But I did care for the fact that she was a strong woman and she fought and stuff. New York Knights, 1974. Thanks for joining us. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat, and thank you for everybody joining us today. Good morning. So there's elements of her character in the Sunbow feature film that I don't care for, but then there are other characteristics I do care for. Her camaraderie to her mates, and her steadfastness, and her strength in completing tasks in her job and stuff like that. So it's a weird characterization for Jinx. She did not come out like that in the comics at all. She was much stronger, much more steadfast with her tasks and her family, and sticking with things that she believed in and stuff like that. Terrence Childs, what happened to her after the movie? That's a good point. She did join Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Scarlet in a bunch of missions, I believe, during the Ninja Force years. I'm not sure exactly what happened to her, but she was still involved with the Arashikage. She was involved with the Blind Master, the Old Master, Billy, and so on and so forth. So let's go into her history a little bit. There's some artwork by, it looks like George Woodbridge did that artwork on Jinx there. Jinx, alternate names, NA, year release 1987, designed by Ron Rudat. So Ron Rudat did most of the designs of all the characters from 82 to 87, with the exception of a handful and a couple of vehicle drivers. Ron put Jinx in a Chinese gi uniform with a dragon on it, symbolizing Jinx's strength, power, and good luck. What is interesting about Jinx is the choice of weapons that were given. The swords and naginata she carries were traditionally used by samurai of Japan. Interesting. It says the chin is off center. Soften the right nipple, make the breast a bit more symmetrical. This is a note, a line note. And it says for the a line reading of the figure and the character design and the artwork. Ease between the upper torso and the lower torso so the figure does not appear so hippie. Remove material from the slides also. How about bringing the rear further down so she has the perception of more buttocks? Other than that, the character is very good. So there you go. So that was a line reading for the art of Jinx. And you can see that artwork there, that they had a line reading. And there's a little bit of a sketch back there as well. All right. So then let's see. New York Knights. Just found a few of her classified figures at Ross for $8 each. Wow, that's really cool. Good luck. Congratulations to you and good luck on that. RossCon is a thing, and a lot of people are really into that right now. I don't get out that much to shop. I do a lot of my shopping online. So there's her vintage package there. You can see they changed her up a little bit from that artwork that they gave. And she has a lot of accessories and backpack and stuff like that there. And that is from Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe Volume 3 by R. Carson Metaxas and 3D Jones. And then Jinx gets her first appearance in A Real American Hero, issue 59, I should say, one of my most favorite issues of G.I. Joe. There's so much awesome stuff in this issue. Not only do we get to see Raptor, we get to see Fred 7 in the Armored Corps Commander. We got to see the Pogo. Outback is in here. Tunnel Rat's in here. The whole story with Billy and Jinx and the Blind Master, all that gets explored much more in depth in this after Billy leaves Corporate Commander. So it's one of my favorite G.I. Joe story arcs in The Real American Hero. That whole period is really one of my favorites. And then obviously we talked. So in the Real American Hero comics, she was more of a trainer. She trained Billy. She worked with the Blind Master. She worked with the disavowed, I should say, the remnants of the Arashikage clan that was spread across the world. She helped different factions of the Arashikage in that vein, and so this is where she goes and she helps. She's with the Blind Master and she helps Billy, and down the line she ends up helping the Old Master, and then she joins up with Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Scarlet, and she helps in the Ninja Force part of that history as well. So her character is a lot different in the comics. In the Sunbow, again, she appeared in the movie, and she was a new trainee. She was part of the Rawhides, and Beachhead underestimated her, and that's why I thought, okay, she's going to turn out to be a fairly strong character and come into her own by the end of this. But then this whole thing with Falcon was very cringy and very weird. I didn't care for it that much, and so I kind of glaze over that because I don't really care for it that much. But it is what it is. So her characterization is a lot different. She's a strong character, but then she gives in to Falcon too much, I think, in the movie. But that's just the way it is. So then we're going to go into her vintage figure. And I don't have any of her accessories, so we're just going to cover the figure. So the figure is in pretty good shape, very strong. It doesn't look like there's any paint scrapes or any paint missing on her. I like her a lot. She has that dragon tattoo symbol on her chest there. Um, there was a lot of differences between this Jinx and her her interpretation in Sunbow. They showed that she had the blind mask because she worked better with the blind mask, and they showed her without her hair and things like that. There was a Super 7 figure that came out from Reaction Plus that they did for one of their waves over the summer. That's a much better interpretation. In fact, I could probably just go grab it. It's right here, just to show you a little bit more of an interpretation of Jinx. Give me a sec. Jinx. Where is she? Can't find her. I thought she was over here, but I don't see her. So I don't know where she's at. So I can't find my Jinx. Can't find my Jinx figure. I must have put her away someplace. So there. Sorry about that. I'm gonna show you that Jinx figure, and I don't know where I put her. Uh, uh, well, I guess I'll show her off later. I'll try to find where I put her. I just don't know where I did with her. But this is a classified review, so we'll wait on that one till later. Let's see. The chat has been blowing up on me. Let's see. She wound up marrying Falcon, moving to the suburbs, having a son, and opening a food cart in the local mall. Nah, I don't think so. New York, night 1974. I think she comes out later. I think in Devil's Due, she's involved in a few different covert operations. And IDW, she has a rough time in IDW. Chuckles is involved with her, and something bad happens to her. I'm not going to go into it and spoil the story, but she does not get the best treatment in IDW comics, but she does go on to do some other things in the comics world after um, uh, Larry Hama uses her again in his continuity. IDW has kind of been shunted off, and Devil's Due has also been shunted off, so they're not kind of in continuity any longer. Chuckles didn't break his cover. No, he didn't break his cover. Will R7284, thanks for joining us again in the chat. No, he didn't break his cover, unfortunately. For Jinx, that was a rough story, but it's a really good series that happened in the Cobra series by Christos Cage and I can't think of the other guy's name, the writer that wrote the Cobra series with Christos Cage, but it was really rough. Jinx did not come out of that very well. So let's get into her classified figures, some more positive things. So here we are, Jinx 124. You can see they have her unmasked there. They have her with her sword, and you can see a little bit of that tattoo on her gi there. And one of the most contentious parts of this figure is they have her without sleeves, and people were not happy about that. So then we go over to the target artwork and the QR code and the designations. So we're going to go into her designations. We'll see what she has on there. So I believe the first one is the key and the sword, which I believe is infiltration. But I'm going to make sure. Yeah, and oh, that's intelligence. Sorry, not infiltration. Intelligence. Then we have the knife, which is bladed weapons. We have the webbed box looking thing, which is infiltration. So that's infiltration. So we have intelligence, bladed weapon, infiltration, and we have the ninja star with a face, which is stealth. I believe is stealth. That I looked it up the other day, and it's stealth. Um, so then we have her photography artwork by Shooting the Galaxy, with a couple of call outs. They got the blind fold for her, and they have the tattoo on her arms, call outs. And then in the back of the package, you can see her with her double bladed staff. You can see some weights. She's in the workout room, so that's where she's going to take that pugil stick right there. She'll probably beat up Beachhead with it, which is really funny in the movie. So there's definitely some different design aesthetics with this figure from her vintage figure. And then we turn around and we get all of her figure and accessories with that loadout and the new packaging again. This is the fourth one with the new packaging design, and it's Kim Jinx Arashikage, and it does not show any kind of logo, it just shows G.I. Joe's logo on the package. So we're going to get her out of there. So there you go. And then we have the stars and stripes on the interior. Put that down there. And then we have her with her loadout there. So we'll pull the figure out first. All right, so it's obvious they're using the Akiko mold and the blue female ninja mold for this. A lot of this is redeco of those two figures. Obviously, her head's a little bit different, and they're using the homage from the movie and having it maskless. But they also took some liberties, and they gave her shirtless, and that's where that tattoo comes in. And she has those arm guards on both sides of her arm guards. The tattoo is actually quite ornate and quite beautiful when you really look at it. There's some flowers and petals and stuff like that. And there's the call out to her dragon symbol on her gi there, and she has a little bitty like jewel there from her neck that's on a necklace hanging from there. So there's a little bit of different deco with this. It's not all red. There's some a little burgundy in little parts of it on the sides and on the trim of her gi. There's some burgundy there. She also has little bits of black deco on the feet and around her legs, and with her black belt and her guards, arm guards, and the necklace. So there's little bits of black deco, burgundy deco, red, obviously, and some breaks with the skin color and things like that. So I can see why they added some deco, because she was a little bit bland with all that red. If you look at the vintage figure, she's very, very red, and this one there's some definite deco hits on it that gives it a little bit of separation, and I think it needs it. I guess I'm gonna look at it as a positive. The Hasbro team's been very good about the decos and separating the colors and doing a really nice job with that. And her face print looks really, really good as well on that. I've got to say. They've gotten really better with the face prints. There's some rouge and some makeup on her eyes and some lipstick and stuff like that. So she looks very good in that sense. But they wanted to incorporate multiple versions of her. So they gave her a second head, the masked head, like the vintage. It has the little thing on the back of the mask. So there's the mask face, and you can see those eyes, those intent. Let me see if I can get some better light there. Some intent eyes on there for serious business. So she looks really good in that mask. And then, like I said before, there's the the bandana also with the little extra bits there for her to put over her eyes, which I'll probably do that because I'm probably going to put her in a like a training stance. And then she has her sword and a sheath to go with the sword. So they put the sword inside the sheath, and it has some brown deco on the hilt, and the sheath is all black with a little bit of ornate design on there to give a little bit of uh, Asian mythology or Asian history with that design. So there, we're gonna put that on her back there because it has a peg there and it can peg into the back of her gi. So she's carrying that like that. There. So then she has that staff. Um, they did not include a pugil stick, which I'm a little amazed. The vintage one came with a pugil stick, I believe. Uh, I don't have it, but it came with one. This one comes with the doubles bladed staff, which has a lot of deco on it, some brown and some black and silver with the blades and stuff like that. So I'm going to put that over there for now. Then she also has another set of hands. So this is a set of hands that she can use to grab things and to grip things. And I'm probably going to switch these hands out because I want her to have that staff because I don't have a pugil stick with her. I think her maybe her Reaction Plus figure came with a pugil stick. So there's her hands, and you can see there's a little deco of finger paint there for her on each of them. There. So I'm going to switch her hands out, and I'm going to put the gripping hands on her instead because I wanted to hold her staff. Oops, I put the wrong one. That's the right one. There. All right. So then that's that one. And then that's that one. Switching these out. There. So I switched out her two hands there. So I wanted to call out the fact that she also has the butterflied shoulders. She has the double pinned elbows, the double pinned knees. She has the normal crotch articulation with that extra carryover of her gi there. She has the ab crunch on her there. And she has the head rocker articulation. She has the wrist articulation and the extra wrist that twists and turns on there. She's got the foot rocker. She's got the double, the second ankle articulation. She has the thigh, the calf articulations. That is really good for martial arts figures. She does not have the secondary wrist. So that's the only articulation point. So there's only a couple figures that have that, but she is not one of them. I think it would have been good to put that on her if they could. So I'm going to put her bandana over her head and see what that looks like. And then I'm going to put her staff on there. Having a hard time getting that over her hair. I will add that all these videos we've started with the 00 snake eyes, and now we've gone up to 124 with Jinx, and we've done 17 vintage package figures and two 60th anniversary and legacy figures so far. So we started with 00 snake eyes, and we're on our way up, and we're continuing this series on. So if you would like to go back and watch some of the old episodes, you can. So there, it's a little off. I need to fix it so it's a little bit more that way. Yeah, there. So that little lump there in the middle will go over her nose. So there, I got that on her there. there, right? And then I'm going to give her her staff. I would have preferred to have had the pugil stick like they did for the vintage and the OG and the Reaction Plus, because I just think it just makes sense better with the character because of her storyline. And I guess because of her Sunbow storyline, it feels like that's more natural there. So there you go. Hey, good morning, Crusty Old Crow. Thanks for joining us. Happy Sunday to you, and thank you. So there she is with her pugil stick, or kind of not her pugil stick. That's her bladed staff, I should call it. And you could do like at an angle, have her like kind of go at an angle, like she's in a battle stance or whatever. So she looks really good. I wish there was a place to put her extra accessories, which that's one of those things that I don't like is when they have a figure and they can't carry all their accessories. But she looks really good. So I'm going to get a stand for her, and then I will put her there, and she will be ready to go. She is not that easy to get onto this stand. She's giving me a little bit of a hard time on here. Let's see. Oh, all right, so there we got that one. Now let's see if we can get the other one. All right, so we got them both on. We'll turn her feet a little bit like that. Put some pressure on that there. And there you go. There's your Jinx. And her head and her extra hands. So what do you guys think? Do you like this classified version? So there's a little bit of a, I should say, disgruntledness over this figure here because she had the sleeved, sleeveless arms. People thought that should have the sleeveless. She had the sleeved arms, and they weren't happy with some of the deco on her. I think she looks really good, and they upgraded her for classified design aesthetic. But I think there is definitely some room in case you want to do another one of her, because there's a lot of talk about them trying to redo Falcon, Chuckles, and her in the vintage packaged retro package line for the movie, so they all match that. So there's obviously room to get another Jinx if we wanted another Jinx, if Hasbro thought that it was necessary to give us another Jinx in the retro package line. Yeah, I think her arm tattoos are beautiful. They're very colorful. When you look at them, they're very ornate. I'm very amazed that they were able to do that, Crusty Old Crow. And I think it adds, like I said, I think it adds to the character, adds to the design of this particular character. I don't think it detracts from her. So I don't know if she needed to have that sleeves on there, but I don't know. Everybody is entitled to feel the way they feel, you know. The new classified look to her is awesome, and the face sculpt is great. Thank you very much, Will. I agree with you on that, and I don't know. I think it comes down to people that are more traditionalists and they want things to look the way that they looked as a vintage version. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that viewpoint, but we have three distinct classified lines now. We have the main line, which is where this Jinx came out from. We have the retro package, which is packaged figures that we might not get in any other version, uh, whether they're a retro package, a redeco, or a new version of a character in a different way, similar to what they did with the Crimson Guard female. So that's how they're doing the retro package. And then obviously we're getting the legacy wave, which is real life type things and people and representation in the real world in that line, with the fireman, the police officer, probably going to be EMT next, and then we don't know what will be after that. Crystal Crow, she's an Arashikage. She should have full body art like Triad members tend to get. Yeah, but I don't think we. I agree with you, but I don't think we're going to get that far into that sort of stuff, anyways, because this is a children's line. Even though we're all adults collecting this, it's supposed to be for kids, and that's what it's geared for. So they're not going to go in that vein, you know. Even when you look at the bad guys, there's a tongue in cheek to the bad guys and a fantasy element and a fun element to them. They're not necessarily, even though we know they're terrorists, not necessarily representing that in the toy line per se, because there aren't file cards on these figures. You get like dreadnoughts and the things that the dreadnoughts do that the kids wouldn't know about because they don't see that. The same with Cobra and Destro and everybody else. Um, uh, 4 and up, I agree. It limits what they add to a figure. Yep. So I wanted to talk about a trailer that got dropped the other day, and it's one of those things that I cover in my videos because it's tangentially connected to GI Joe, because they had a year where there was this subline, and it was called Street Fighter 2, and it was connected to GI Joe in the 90s, and I've always kept that connection in my mind because I collected GI Joe in that period. I got all those Street Fighter figures, and I saw the new trailer for the new movie, and I was so like excited for that movie. It looks really, really good. Andrew Koji looks really good. Jason Momoa looks really good. Stanch Tamuchi as M. Bison. Stacha Tamuchi as M. Bison looks phenomenal. All the characters look really good. A bunch of the wrestlers in there look really good as their characters. And the guy that's playing He-Man is going to be playing Ken. And another one of the wrestlers is going to be playing one of the main villains. And another one's going to be playing one of the good guys. I can't think of his name off the top of my head for Street Fighter, but I'll think of it in a minute. But it looks really good. And so I've been opening up my Street Fighter figures. Roman Reigns is Akuma. Yep, that's the bad guy. Now, who's the good guy wrestler? He's the son of a previous wrestler. I just can't think of his name off the top of my head and his character off the top of my head. But I've been opening. Oh, that's it. Cody Rhodes as Guile. That's correct. Thank you very much, Will R. You're great. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. So I've been opening up Street Fighter figures from the Jada Street Fighter 2 line of figures periodically during like special episodes and anniversaries and stuff like that. So I figured, since I was talking about Street Fighter, I want to talk more about Street Fighter with you guys in this chat, and we have Jinx here. I thought, hey, who better to open up during this video than Chun-Li? And so we're going to open Chun-Li from the Street Fighter Jada figure line. Let's see. Crusher Crow, the G.I. Joe Street Fighter 2 stuff from the 90s is why I had no complaints collecting the Jada Street Fighter line and keeping them near my classified collection. They are a great series. They are a phenomenal series, and they've been doing a great job, Jada. And that's exactly why I'm getting them. The exact same reason. I have my Street Fighters right over here, the ones that we've already opened with you guys. And I thought the best thing to do is open Chun-Li and put her with my Jinx and have a little bit of ladies battle there and have fun with it. And I was intending to hold her off until my 200th episode, but I figured, hey, why not? We're talking about Street Fighter, we're talking about Jinx, we're having fun. Why the hell not, right? You guys opposed to that or no? What do you guys think of that trailer, and do you think the movie is going to be a good representation of the game? And what do you think about the original movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme and all those guys? What do you think about that early movie from the 90s? Do you think it was a little cheesy? I've met a handful of people from that movie over the years. So I love these video game packages that they put on these. They're really cool. I got the first version, Chun-Li, and you can see all these figures. I've got almost all these on pre-order, or I already have them in hand. I think the sumo guy is on pre-order, Indian guy's on pre-order, the black guy's on pre-order, and the Akuma is on pre-order. So I have 4 more on pre-order, and we're gonna open them a little bit at a time as we go. When we hit milestone episodes and things like that, it's a classified review, so I don't want to really overpower it with Street Fighter and Jada, but I do like these a lot. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like the other movie? Do you think the new movie is going to be good? Have you guys even seen the trailer for the new movie? It's really good. They show all the characters. There's a lot more characters in it than I thought there was going to be. So there's Chun-Li. Oops. So I don't know how long it is. I think it would have been better as a TV series, to be honest. But Andrew Koji, that's going to be playing Ryu, I think he's phenomenal in that. He was also phenomenal as Storm Shadow in the Snake Eyes movies. He was one of the shining lights of the Snake Eyes origin movies, Andrew Koji, and I love him in the Warrior TV show. And so that's her background, or her diorama. I'm going to put that back in the box because I'm saving these diorama boxes for my collection. So I'm going to stick that back in there. If I can get it in there. Get in there. So it's like a little village, I guess. Chinese village or Asian village in some sort of a Asian town or whatever. The backdrop for her is. It looks really nice, I must say. Let's see. What do we have here? Crush Your Old Crow. All I see in a Street Fighter movie is the same fate that Mortal Kombat movies suffer. I think it's just going to end up being a cash grab action movie with bad plot but fun action. Yeah, you never know. I definitely feel that's how the earlier Street Fighter movie was portrayed, and Mortal Kombat in the same vein. But the new Mortal Kombat movie was really, really good. There's this like blue fire effect that she shoots out as her action thing, and so that's really cool. We're gonna put her over there. First, we're gonna move Jinx over here for now with her vintage figure. There. Hopefully she doesn't fall there. And Jinx's stuff, so we can make room for Chun-Li. Sean Jones, yo Joe, bro. Thanks for joining us. You just joined us for the Jinx video, and we're doing a special Street Fighter chat, and I figured why the hell not? We might as well open up Chun-Li to go against Jinx. And so that's what we're doing. We're talking about the Street Fighter movie. The new trailer for the new movie has just dropped. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to open up one of my Street Fighter figures and talk about that movie and have her fight Jinx in that. Saying hello to everybody in the chat. Crustero Crow, Chun-Li is amazing. Using her flat hand, you can actually balance her upside down, doing her helicopter kick from a full handstand. Incredible balance. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Crustero Crow. Since this is the first time I'm getting a chance to open her up, I'm going to play with her a little bit after this video is over. But she looks like her traditional video game. You've got a 93 Ken Masters O-ring. Yeah, I have all the vintage ones myself. I have a complete set of vintage Street Fighters, and I have a couple of the vehicles as well. So she's the first version. She has this extra cloth piece that's kind of rubbery, and she's got all that ornate color all over her costume and on the back of her costume. She's got her, I call them Princess Leia kind of buns on her hair with a little bit of yellow deco on them. She's got the brown hair that goes in front of the face, and her face print is really, really nice, I must say. She's got these little spikes on these armbands and a little white center part that holds her costume tight to her. There's a bit of ornate artwork there up there by her collar that's representative of her costume in the video game. And she has blue trunks underneath there as well, and burgundy leg and white boots. And it's a nice color balance for her with white, yellow, blue, red, and it looks really nice. She's got some earrings on there. There's a lot of really cool deco hits, little details on her as well. She has looks like she does not have the butterflied shoulders. She's got the more sturdy shoulders, I guess, to do that balancing that you were talking about, Crusher Crow. I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, but I'm giving away a Chun-Li on the backyard battlefield this Wednesday if people like what you are showing us. Oh, great. Did you hear that, guys? The backyard battlefield this Wednesday. Crusher Crow is giving away a Chun-Li figure. So that's really cool that we're showing this off for you. So she looks excellent. She does not have the butterflied shoulders because obviously that balancing that you said with her hands so she can do that maneuver is to hold her up like that. So they didn't give her the butterflied shoulders. She does have the ab crunch and the waist articulation. She does have the double pinned elbows, the double pin knees. She got the thigh. She got the calf. You can maneuver her calf articulation there a little bit, I think. There. And she's got the wrist articulation and the twisty wrist articulation that some of the classified has. She's got the foot rocker and she has the secondary ankle articulation. So she's got most of, and she's got the crotch and the leg articulation there. So she's got also the head articulation, very maneuverable on that ball joint on the head. So the only part was the butterfly shoulders, but like I explained, it's probably to keep her sturdy so she can do that butterfly, that leg twist maneuver that you were talking about, Crustero Crow, which is really, really cool. And then she has her I guess her blast effect. I'm not sure if her hand goes in there to do that like that. I'm not sure if that's the way that goes. So then she's got another head that has all the same detail as the other head. The only difference is it's a screaming head. So she looks much cooler with the screaming head because she says her lines in there from the video game when she does her action pose. Um, Jada never showed it off, but you can also take her spikes cups off. Remember how in later game version she could throw those? I thought that was a nice add-on. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. So you guys know a lot more about the video game. I have a console of Street Fighter, but I don't play it that often. And I don't know a lot about the mechanics of video games and stuff like that. I just love the characters and the world of Street Fighter and the added connection to GI Joe. And so I've got a lot of the figures over the years. But I don't know the mechanics of the video game as well. So I appreciate you letting me know that, Krusty Crow, in the chat. The blast effect is her hurricane sidekick effect, goes on her leg. Oh, okay, there you go. See, another example. So it would go like something like that, and her foot would go like that, and then it would kind of go in there like that, something like that. Krusty Crow. I just know more about Chun-Li moves because she was the easiest character to learn as a beginner. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yep, you got it. Cool. Um, so let's see. So I was going over her other head. It's a screaming face. There you go. I'm probably gonna put that one on there. I don't know. I didn't switch the heads on the other guys, but I should. And then she has a stand like the other guys to do her action stuff on. So there you go. If I can get it in here. Oh, there it is. A little see-through stand for her, and she has a peg hook in. No, I guess she doesn't have a peg hook in there. So I'm not sure how you place this peg hook on her. Um, she's got a peg hook there, and I don't know how. I don't think it goes in the foot. How does this peg hook go on there? Krusty Crow. That's weird. And then she has those two hands to do her maneuver, her flat hands, like Krusty mentioned. And so let's see. Take those out of there. There. So put this over there. How do you make the stand? How do you hook the stand on her, Krusty Crow? It's too wide, and she can't really go under her foot peg hooks. She got two peg hooks there for her feet, but I don't know where that goes. Maybe that's a stand for the head, the other head. You just put the head in there. I don't know. I'm not sure. So here's the hands. Here's the flat hands, like he said. There. So I'll probably swap those out. I don't think I ever used it, LOL. I feel like they were just adding those anytime they had a blast effect. I see no need for it with her. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's why I can't figure it out. So I'm going to do like you said. I'm going to take her hands off, and I'm going to put her flat hands. I'm going to see what it looks like since you described that. All right, so I have the flat hands, and obviously she can maneuver her arms like that there to stand up. So I'm going to twist her arms back there, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to see how that balance works that you talked about. Let's see if I can get this to go the right way. Do I have that in the right way? Oh, there it is, like that. So there. So then she can do her blast effect. Twist her a little bit that way, and she can put her blast effect on there like that. And like that. Similar to that. But check under the kicks effect. They may have it as a support for that when you pose her special kick. I don't see it, but it could be for that. Okay. So she kind of goes like that. I can't really bounce her because this is a soft surface, it's not a hard surface. Um, but yeah, I can imagine that really working out well with her. So that was a really good design aesthetic and part for her, to playability of this. So I like the fact that they did that. They gave them their video game actions and stuff like that, and they gave them the ability to do that sort of stuff. I think that was really good. Jada has been doing a really good job with these figures. I have not had one that I've been disappointed with thus far. Every one of them is like perfection. It's like the best version of a character that you can possibly get um, for every one of these Street Fighters. Have you guys, any of the rest of you guys, gotten these Street Fighter Jada figures? They are just fantastic. So I'm going to get a standout for her so I can add her to my line. So because I opened Chun-Li, I'm now going to I'm going to go to my next figure on the 200th episode, which I think is what is his name? Fei Long, I think, is the next one. Yeah, Fei Long is going to be the next one that we open up, and he will be on the 200th episode when we get there. We're very close to 200. Again, we'll do a special episode for that, and I want to get more into these Street Fighters, but I want to do it when we have the time to do it. Today I thought was the perfect opportunity to do Chun-Li. There. I'm going to take one of her flat hands off. I'm going to put a fist back on. So she has that. There you go. Then I can put her in like a kind of a battle stance like this. There. Kind of put her in a battle stance and get her ready. What do you guys think? You got to go, Chris Crow. Okay. You're very welcome. Take care. Appreciate your help with this. So that is Chun-Li and that is Jinx. What do you guys think of the two of them together? They're perfectly matched. Perfectly matched. They're about the same height and everything. I think they really look good together. Well, I'm glad that you guys were here for this one. This is an interesting episode. I'm looking forward to the Street Fighter movie. We got a lot of fun movies coming out next year with Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Masters of the Universe. There's some really good stuff. A lot of Marvel good stuff, some Star Wars good stuff. It's going to be a really good year for 2026 for movies. I've got to say, one of the best in recent memory. But all right. So our next video is another Dreadnought. It'll be a deluxe figure, and it'll have a couple extra characters with this particular figure. So hopefully that gives you enough clues to guess who our next character is. It's a new character that we haven't gotten in the classified line yet, and it should be a fun video with that character as well. So I want to also remind you guys, today it's Sunday, so make sure you check out our Toy Talk live at 2 p.m. Eastern today. And then I have all my comics, so I'll be doing a comic burst probably either tonight or tomorrow to go over all the new G.I. Joe comics and stuff like that. So keep an eye on all that. And I want to say thank you guys again. As always, you're awesome in the chat and contributing and adding to the conversation. I really appreciate it. I also want to say thank you, everybody in the replay crew and watching after the fact. I really appreciate that as well. You help this channel keep growing by sharing these videos out, and showcasing this channel helps us the most at this point that you can. And we'll be getting up to 200 soon, and I want to get up to maybe a nice round number of like 1,000 or so. And I think that would be a nice, comfortable amount that we can keep track of and enjoy. You guys have all been excellent so far. Thank you very much. So this is a G.I. Joe video, so we're going to go with Yo Joe. See you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.